All right, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. I am shooting this on Christmas Day. He showed up last night in a monkey Christmas miracle because the tracking was showing him as not going to make it in time, and then was on the porch, even though even today the tracking number says that he's in transit and is going to be arriving late. He and Cyclonus showed up just fine from CMD store last night, safe and sound, so we had a magical monkey Christmas, and it was great. Here he is. It's Optimus Primal, Voyager Optimus Primal from the Kingdom line. I'm super excited about it. I've been waiting for this guy for a while, and I actually have now pretty much all the Beast Wars stuff that I want on the way, from this first wave. Like, I already had Rat Trap, who I left at home. I'm shooting this at work also. This is not the new background, even though it is a different background. The background I ordered still is in kind of one of those shipping situations, origin post nightmare. But it was cheap, so not surprising. But also, one of the things I got for Christmas this morning at home, I had to come into work, which is why I'm shooting this here. Also, my mother-in-law is in town, so I can't stay up late or in the middle of the night and shoot them like I usually do, because she's visiting us for a couple of weeks, and so that option is not currently available. But when I come back, when I get that shooting space again, one of the things that I got this morning for Christmas from my brother-in-law, who's a lighting technician, was a bunch of stuff to really that's supposed to really help us set up my little shooting video review station with a lot of better lighting and equipment. So looking forward to getting that all installed. It will be white again, I think, if I do set this up the way he did it. And I was hoping for a little bit of a change there, but if it's an improvement, I will take it, because that was a very thoughtful gift from him and my wife. They kind of coordinated together on that, and so I'm looking forward to getting that all assembled and seeing it. Anyway, Merry Christmas. I hope you all had a good one. Happy holidays to everybody. If you don't celebrate Christmas, I hope your December has gone well, and any holidays you celebrate were happy and merry and got you in the spirit of the season. And I hope everybody is doing well. With everything going on in the world, it's crazy. I just hope this finds you well, whether you're watching it today on Christmas Day 2020 or sometime in the future. Hello, future people. But anyway, here he is. He is a gorilla, monkey, ape, whatever. I know there's a proper term, but I like to call him a monkey, and you all know what I mean. This should actually rotate a little bit back. Hide that red under there. But yeah, he's actually pretty cool. He's got, all the articulation to expect. His shins have a little bit of rotational joint right here under this cut, or at this cut, but they don't rotate much, and I think it's just to kind of make him look a little bit more natural in alt mode. But whatever. He does have a little bit of robot bits hiding around there, sticking out in some places. But he's got shoulder joints, good shoulder joints, and he's got kind of a crunch here at the shoulder, in the torso, as well as a double hinge joint there at the shoulder. He's got a bicep swivel, hinge elbow. He's got wrist swivel, and he's got opening fingers here on his hands. Also, his head can look up. It's actually a really neat mechanism on his head. It can look up, you can look down. He's got some side to side, so he's got a posable head here in alt mode. His toes can kind of pose, but they don't fold up; they only fold down. So you can actually pose him down like that. But if you want to get him with his leg, kind of more up on his toes, can't really do it. He's got flat feet. But a nice paint job and a pretty decent little dude. I'm happy with him. Now, he does have, I've taken them off, but like his swords that come with him, he does have slots. They're also available here in alt mode that you can put the swords on his back. But that kind of takes away from the otherwise generally pretty decent alt mode here. And then to have these giant swords on his back. But you can do it, so, entirely up to you. There is in the instructions to bring this down and I don't think rotate it around, but to bring his legs down, and you can fold this stuff out. Like it was supposed to detach from here, maybe, I guess, whatever. But like to bring his legs so he can stand up like this. I don't know why this is a specific alt mode in the instructions or a specific thing, but in his manual, here's how you make him stand up like that. So, okay, it's just kind of a halfway to robot mode. The only real thing is straighten the legs and make sure that this tab is detached from the knee, even though you want that for robot. It's a bizarre mode, but it exists in the instructions. Sasquatch mode, I don't know, whatever you want to mess with. Also, these come with little holographic cards. Cool pattern. I got Dinobot came with Primal. The Arc came with Cyclonus, which will show. This top part is a sticker. You can pull it off, and it's supposed to show a alternate future or whatever. And I'm pretty sure this is the Leeds United Factions card for Dinobot. But then, as you can see, it's kind of shiny. It's got Dinobot, Black Arachnia, Rat Trap, Scorponok, Cheetor, and Air Razor on the card. All of whom you have seen. We have seen toys of have been revealed, which is cool. I don't want to peel it all the way off because it is a sticker, and I have nowhere. I don't know what I'm gonna put it on yet. I am gonna find a place for it, but we'll just fold that back down onto the card, even though I didn't do it quite right, and it's not quite off on the edge here, but whatever. But yeah, so there's some cool little Kingdom cards in figures. Now we've already got him standing up, so to transform him, it's actually it's not super difficult, and there's a few neat little bits. So we can go ahead and lift up these, and these kind of snap into place. It's a little scary the first couple times you do it, but snap his shoulder armor up. Obviously, his hands stay the same. I'll lift this panel up and rotate it around, and then this little tab goes up in here into his back, like that. Just kind of rests into place there. And then you can see his waist panel there. Rotate him around at the waist. And then this panel actually unpegs, and it's supposed to fold up and kind of be part of his backpack. You can leave it plugged in, although it might affect a little bit of the leg rotation here at the hip. You can fold it just a little bit back. You don't have to fold it all the way up to the backpack, but that's how it shows it in the instructions, is to fold it down from here. Or maybe it was just halfway, but anyway, unpeg that. You can see the peg there. Here, go ahead and flip down his feet. Like that. I guess if you... No, you can't fold his toes up, so no. And this is what I was talking about. This little cut right here, or just under the knee, has that much rotation in it. And it doesn't spin all the way around, and it seems weird, and I'm wondering if, is it actually supposed to just go that little bit? Is something jammed? But it's on both legs. I'm not going to risk twisting it off to break it, because you really don't need more than that. But it just gives you just that extra little bit of, if you don't want his... he does have some ankle tilt here as well, which is nice. The way this whole assembly works, because it's ball joints in here. But just that little extra bit of, I don't know, casual toe pointing there on the feet, which is nice. But you can see them kind of coming together here. And then this whole torso assembly, and getting this open is, because the shoulders stay in the front, and then the head, getting the backpack loose enough to pop open. With this whole assembly, you can see the backpack with the gorilla head fold out. And then this torso panel rotates around like that to reveal his robot mode torso. And it doesn't meet 100% up, but once it's all closed back up, it's not that big of a deal. But then the head, this whole head assembly, you actually have to lift up his gorilla head, rotate it around here on this peg, and then fold it in like that. And then but you pull the whole assembly out and then rotate his robot head around and push it down. Now, here are his shoulder cannons. They fold out at this point in the process. If you don't want to have them displayed in robot mode, I'll fold this down just real quick. You can do that, and then just leave them folded in, and they're not sticking up. I do wish this process was a little easier to just flip them down instead of pulling the whole torso apart, but it's not super bad. But otherwise, you can come in here, and then there's actually a little tab here. So if you can't get your finger all the way in there, you can kind of push this little tab and get it started and flip it up over his shoulder. Again, there's a little tab right here on the edge of this thing that you can use to help rotate it out. Although if you're really having a hard time, you take one of his swords and maybe get in there under the tip. But no, you can't. There we go. Pull his head out, and there you go. Get it up in there. But yeah, once that's all rotated around, then you just close this back up, snap it into place, kind of position everything so it sits properly. And then you can angle his shoulder cannons up. But there is Primal in robot mode. And he's a nice little dude. Like I said, again, in the same vein, those little tabs are still accessible, still visible, so you can store his swords on his back. And there he is with all of his weapons all together. You can take these out. Like I said, his fingers do open, but even with his fingers open, he's still got a little 5mm hole in his hand, so you can give him his sword, or both his swords. Come here. First time to get these in, it's a little tight, but there he is. And he's got he's got a ball joint at the head, a little limited, especially if you have the shoulder cannons up. But I mean, he can, even with the shoulder cannons up, it can turn all around. And it's got a little bit of up and more up than down, but it's got a little bit of movement that way. Very nice head sculpt. He's got, again, he keeps the same arm articulation. He's still got that kind of crunch there at the torso, dual hinge shoulders, the bicep swivel, the hinge elbow, the wrist swivel, the moving fingers, all still function. Now he's got a waist swivel. He's got the dual hinge hips, which again, you can get that out of the way a little bit for more range. He's got hinge knees, and you can get some more range of that if you unhinge the knee, but you're really not going to need it. The way the cut is, if you unhinge it from there, you can get a little bit more movement out of it, but not enough to really justify untabbing that, unless you're really just going for a perfect photo with an extreme pose. He's got this minor twist there just below the calf, or just below the knee, I guess. And then his toe can bend up, and also, like I said, it has the ankle tilt. So a very posable, a very nice Optimus Primal figure. Like, I'm really happy with him. I love Optimus Primal. I'm looking forward to the rest all showing up. But yeah, he was one of my, he and Megatron were my most wanted figures from the Kingdom line when they started showing them off as well. Oh, and Rat Trap. And my Megatron should be here Sunday from GameStop, so in just a couple days. And Cheetor and Black Arachnia and Paleo Trek should all be here tomorrow or Sunday as well. So by Sunday, I'll have all of the Wave 1 Kingdom stuff, with the exception of Warpath, because I didn't order him singly. I will get him eventually. I don't have him currently on order. Now the question, like I said, I was going to bring Rat Trap in to show him off with. There's plenty of pictures. I posted some pictures on my Twitter of him with Rat Trap and some of the other Maximals. And I literally, Rat Trap's gun is still sitting in my work bag because it made it in there. I pulled Rat Trap out this morning to mess around with him, and he forgot to get back in the bag before I left for work. So anyway, so I don't have Rat Trap to compare in this video, although, again, Cheetor's coming, Black Arachnia's coming, Megatron's coming. In some of these future Kingdom videos, I'll make sure we get all of them together in one video. I did bring Thrilling 30 Rhinox, or Generations Rhinox, or whatever line he was from. And while we do apparently have a Rhinox coming in Kingdom, he's a perfectly great stand-in. Like, he fits right in with the group. And if you look really closely, you can kind of see some, evolution of design in the lines, but he still looks really good with the Maximals so far. So I'm glad I have him, and until we get that Rhinox in Kingdom, I'm happy to have him stand in. He's going to look great on the shelf with these guys. But just to give you an idea, and that's close-ish to the old cartoon-ish. Like, for some reason, I always thought Rhinox was bigger, but apparently Primal was just a smidge bigger overall. I know Dinobot was much larger. So we'll see how Dinobot turns out. But Dinobot's probably, as a Voyager, is probably going to be a little taller than these guys anyway. Even though Primal's a Voyager, he's a little small for a Voyager. But there he is with Rhinox. And like I said, I'll get some shots with Rat Trap and Cheetor as well when Cheetor gets here. But just totally spaced it. But to compare him with Primal's past, here he is with the Transmetal Primal, the original Transmetal Primal. And you can kind of see how he is a little small for a Voyager, because he was a Mega, which was ish the Voyager, current Voyager size. But I like it now because, like I said, he's a very fun. He's a little smaller, but he's a perfect carry around, fun, play withable Optimus, and that's great. And I think this looks like more of an upgrade than if you brought in this guy, and have him shrink. Although, again, being all the powers he got in his transmetal body, also not an unacceptable upgrade within the show, but but I think it looks really good next to the new Kingdom Primal. And of course now here is Kingdom Primal with this was the 10th anniversary. This is not the original Optimus Primal because he didn't have the mouth. He had just a solid faceplate and he had the mutant mask and was a slightly darker black and whatever and had a different panel here. But this is the 10th anniversary. But same basic mold, just to give you an idea of where we came from 25 years ago, 26 years ago to now. Size difference, yes, but also a smaller size class. He was an old Ultra class figure. But yeah, so there's a quick comparison there. Here he is with Masterpiece Primal. And again, you can kind of see, like I said, he's a little smoother, matches the CGI where he's got more textured fur, but very much it is almost mini Masterpiece. It's got a lot of the same gimmicks, a lot of the same posability, and is overall, like if you just want a Primal to carry around, and much cheaper, so much more willing to toss him in a bag, carry him around, and play with him, although I've certainly done that with this Primal as well. And just for fun, I don't have my Power of the Primes Optimus Primal, Optimus, I actually gave away to somebody who wanted it. Somebody's like, hey, I really want that. I'm like, all right, cool. And I got rid of it. Just because, like, why not help make somebody happy? But I do have the San Diego Comic-Con Primal that came with the throne and the Prime Masters, or whatever they were calling those things. And I didn't bring the whole thing in, but I did, just for fun, bring in the Optimus Primal part of it, the core robot part of that. So just to give you an idea of the size there. Now, for what he did and combined with Power of the Primes, perfectly okay, but he's much cooler, clearly Optimus Primal representative of the character, even though he doesn't actually combine with anything. But yeah, also I forgot to show off in his arms, he's got this little button here. You push this up, and he's got his forearm blasters on both arms. And they come up, if you push them straight through, they come up straight like that, but they are also on a hinge so you can angle them out. So one, you don't have to put them all the way out. If you don't want them to look quite as bad, you can angle them a little bit and maybe not push them all the way out, so they still have the clearance to come out as if they're forearm blasters without making a whole lot of big gaps around it. Because if you push it, I feel like if you push it all the way out and to leave it straight, it kind of looks, it's not bad, but it definitely opens up like the whole gaps in the forearm. Whereas if you kind of just angle it a little bit and push it out just a little bit, it looks more like it's just coming out of his forearm versus, I want to say naturally, but I mean like natural forearm blasters is kind of an oxymoron. But yeah, he's got those on both sides. And the posts on this, and again, I forgot to grab some blast effects, but all of the War for Cybertron little gun blast effects, the ends of these things are compatible with those, so you can put any sort of little blaster things on his forearms and have him look like he's shooting. But yeah, full complement of weapons, a very nice, just a lovely representation of Primal from Beast Wars. Super happy to have him. Looking forward to getting all the others so I can have a updated Beast Wars shelf. But there is, let me get him out of the way. He's been sitting over here in the corner the whole time. But there is Voyager Optimus Primal from Transformers War for Cybertron Kingdom. And looking forward to more. Thanks for watching. Again, Merry Christmas. I hope you're all doing well and having a good time.